Forging IT security experts. Secure Ninja.
Hey everyone, I'm Alicia Webb with SecureNinjaTV, and I'm here in Budapest, Hungary at Hacktivity 2012. It is the largest IT security conference in Central and Eastern Europe. I'm speaking with Sir David Pepper. He is the former Director of Government Communications Headquarters in the UK. David, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
A pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I spent my career at Government Communications Headquarters, which is the UK's agency for producing intelligence from intercepted communications, and also for helping to secure government data and communications. It's the equivalent of the United States National Security Agency. Okay. So I spent my career there almost entirely, and finished up as the director.
Excellent. What position did you start out in?
I was a trainee junior analyst.
Very cool. So you just worked your way up?
Worked my way up.
That sounds like it was an amazing career.
It was.
Now, you were one of the keynote speakers here at Hacktivity. There were a total of 3 of them. What was it that you were speaking about?
I was talking about the way in which organisations and people have to change, and I was using the word evolve, in order to deal with the challenges of cybersecurity and the threats to organisations and people from the activity of people who are trying to break into their data, steal their data, and reflecting that this was not just a matter of technical response, but also changing the way the organisations are skilled, the way they're structured, the way they think, the way they behave, and that they have to adopt a very wide range of responses in order to achieve real security.
Right, absolutely. No, why did you feel it was important to come all the way over here to Central and Eastern Europe to discuss these things?
Well, Deloitte suggested it. Deloitte are sponsoring the event, and I work with them. And I was very happy to do it because cybersecurity is essentially an international business. Mm-hmm. The internet is a transnational entity, and you can't achieve security in just one country alone. So anything that helps to spread ideas about cybersecurity and generate dialogue between countries about cybersecurity, I think, is very important.
Absolutely, I agree. Now, you've been retired for about 4 years. How has the IT security industry changed and evolved since you retired?
Well, it's a very, very fast-changing scene. Mm-hmm. If I look back on my last 4 or 5 years in GCHQ, cybersecurity went from a very specialised activity that not many people were really interested in, to one where even by the time I retired in 2008, it was achieving major importance simply because it was becoming understood how big the threat was and how much danger there was out there and how much data was being stolen, how much information was being taken. Since then, it's continued to change very fast indeed, partly because the threats have evolved so fast, and partly because technology moves so fast. And one of the challenges, I think, in this area for all organisations is that the technology is changing probably faster than they can themselves change. And that makes it very difficult indeed to keep pace with the threats.
Absolutely. It's great that you're able to travel and spread information about this topic. How often do you speak at these sorts of conferences?
Not very often, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, no more than that. But there are an enormous number of conferences on cybersecurity. You could do nothing but speak at them. But I think it's important to talk to the important ones.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's an audience of about 1,200 people.
It's a very big conference.
Yeah.
Very big conference, very young.
Yeah, it is. It's a great scene here. It's been so much fun. I hope you're having a good time.
Great fun.
Definitely. How open has the UK been to acknowledging these threats of cyber attacks?
I think that's another one of the things that's changed a lot in the last few years. Mm-hmm. Once the understanding grew of how big the problem was, the UK government has moved to a point where it now has a very full and open cybersecurity strategy. It is talking very openly about the magnitude of the threat. And indeed working now very actively and very publicly to encourage people and organisations, particularly companies, to understand what the problem is, to think about what they need to do, and then to reflect on the balance between what companies should be doing and what government should be doing to help make the country and the citizen more secure in a very difficult world. So we've certainly gone from a situation in which it was regarded as quite a secret thing to one in which the understanding is there that unless there is very open discussion of the problem, there will be very little progress actually made.
Right. What do you think are some of the most important preventative measures that companies should take to prevent cyber attacks?
They have to see the problem in the round. They have to see it as a business risk and one that can't be solved just by the IT department doing clever technical things. It involves everybody from the company leadership downwards. They have to think obviously about the technology, but also about the way they behave, the way people behave, whether people throughout the organisation have got the right skills, whether they as a company have got the right contingency plans, whether they've thought about the need for backup, whether they've thought about what they would do if they are attacked and how they would respond. Think about what information they've got that they really, really have to safeguard and how they can completely ring-fence that. And think about the business and the information and the systems that it depends upon, and really think through what would happen if something goes wrong with those, and then decide from that what they need to do and how much they should spend upon it. So it's a question of taking the problem really in the round, rather than just thinking narrowly about it as a technical issue.
Right. Planning what you're going to do after it happens.
That's very important. That's very important. After you've been attacked is not the time to sit around saying, oh dear, what are we going to do now?
What are we going to do now? So it's not so much a technical challenge as it is a whole cultural change.
It's both. The technical challenge is real, but too many organisations think they can stop at the technical, and they have to go on to a full cultural change. It's something we did in GCHQ when we realised that our environment had changed radically because of the arrival of the internet. And we had to think not just about technology, but about people and skills and structure and business processes. And that's something that most organisations who are using IT, using technology, using the internet very actively, they have to think about that because it affects the way everybody in the organisation acts and the skills they have. And that has very deep implications and takes a lot of time. You can introduce new technology quite quickly, but if you want to change the organisational culture, that can take a long time and needs determined leadership to achieve it.
Right. Well, it looks like this up-and-coming generation, like you said, there's a lot of younger folks here at Hacktivity. It looks like they're becoming very well educated about these threats, so that's a good thing.
Absolutely, and there is a generational thing here. I mean, I think the younger generation are growing up in a world with the internet.
Absolutely.
And that sets a different set of expectations from my generation, to whom the internet is a relatively new phenomenon.
So this is a hacking conference, Hacktivity, and one of the things we like to talk about on SecureNinjaTV is how you know that you're sharing this information with hackers. How do you know that it's not going to be used in a malicious way?
I think that's a real problem for the more technical speakers, though even there I suspect part of the answer is if they think that all this information is not already out there, then they're deluding themselves. I think it's relatively easy for me because I've been talking about organisational response, and the sort of things I've been talking about are the way any organisation needs to act, including almost certainly the organisations that are responsible for some of the hacking, because they're having to think about how to behave as well. So I think I'm simply reflecting on the way organisations and people respond to the pressures and respond to the threats that they're facing. And I don't think talking about that in any audience is actually going to give any information to anybody that can be used against me.
Good. That keeps us safe. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us.
It's been a pleasure.
We appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Hacktivity.
Thank you very much.
I know we will. So thank you for watching. Make sure you don't miss any of our videos by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/SecureNinja. Thanks for watching. I'm Alicia Webb.
Secure Ninja Shorts are brought to you by SecureNinja.com, a world leader in information security and IT training and certification. Our master instructors will help build you into a highly skilled and marketable security professional. SecureNinja.com, forging IT security experts.